Hey everyone, it's Xanthi and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, welcome, and if you're subscribed, thank you so much. I've gotten quite a few new subscribers and I appreciate each and every one of you. So yeah, today I am going to talk about Wentworth puzzles, new versus old. Now, I think it was in my June puzzle haul video, I mentioned how my teammate and puzzle friend Karen found this old Wentworth in a op shop. Now, I am fairly new to Wentworth. I only sort of really knew about them a few years ago, and I think I didn't do my first one until about a year ago. And since then, I'm hooked. Now, they are rather expensive. They're very good quality. So obviously they're going to cost more, and they're shipped from Britain all the way to Australia. That's going to cost as well. I think that's the only way we can get them here in Australia is directly from their website. Don't know if that's the same for other countries, probably. So yeah, I don't have too many, but the ones that I have and have done, I absolutely love. Now, because I didn't know about their history, I was quite surprised to see how different the packaging is on their old ones. And I thought, I wonder how old this is. This one, it doesn't actually have a year on it. But when I was looking up Wentworth, I see that they started in 1991. So this could well be, from the 90s. And initially, when Karen showed me this one, I got to admit that the image didn't really appeal to me that much, and I grabbed it more because I wanted to see if there was a difference in quality and, other differences between the old style and the new style. So, but once I started looking into the image, and it is actually artwork. It's not a photograph. From a distance, it kind of looks like a photograph. And I looked up the artist, and it's called BOAC Comet 1. Now, I didn't know what BOAC stood for, so I went down a rabbit hole, and I sort of looked up what the comet was as well, and it turned out to be rather interesting. But we'll get to that. The first thing that I will tackle here is the actual differences. Now, I have not opened this one. I have not looked at the pieces, so I wanted to leave it for this video to do it here and to share with you my first reactions. But let's just start with the actual packaging. So you can see the new one's got this sort of grey and plum sort of box that we're used to seeing. And there's a bit of a blurb here in the back. But in the old one, there's stuff in the back, but they've got it in English, French, German, and interestingly enough, Japanese. So, and there's some information on here which I was not aware of, and they were sort of mentioning whimsy pieces, and they're saying they were so called because Victorian puzzle cutters included the shapes on a whim, and the Wentworth Wooden Jigsaw Company has revived this old tradition. So that's where the term whimsy comes from, which I didn't know. So yeah, it's got this dark green box. This is what's 250 pieces. Oh, it says approximately 250 pieces, 10 by 14 inches. Otherwise, it's 250 millimeters by 360 millimeters. So, yeah. So this one is probably, quite old now. Is it complete? I have no idea. So I will open it up. So that's the new one there, which is rather cute. So I'll open them up and compare. So let's have a look. Okay, so they're inside. So the new one, as you would know, it's got that plum coloured material bag that you expect. And inside they've got a little little booklet. So for this one, obviously it's secondhand. Actually smells a bit like mothballs, which I suspect it's been in someone's storage for quite some time. Okay, that's interesting. So this is just tasseled at the end. This, on the other hand, has got these sort of toggles that are, I don't know if we can see that, but just these sort of toggles. So let's open that up. Okay. I'll do some close-ups so we can see compare the actual pieces. Now, the bag doesn't actually have anything, doesn't have Wentworth on it. Feels a little bit synthetic, I'm not sure. But yeah, the new bag is nicer. It's got their logo on it. So let's open up the new one. And let's compare. Okay, so interesting. So, oh, okay. So I'm noticing something straight up in regards to the old style compared to the new style. Now, I don't know much about wood and the differences in it, but let's have a look. I'll see if I can get a close-up of the back of the wood. Otherwise, I'll take a photo and pop it up. So in the Wentworth, the newer one, we just have basically just a straight wooden backing sort of look to it. But in the old Wentworth, you can actually see wood grains in it. So it's all sort of patterned at the back and, you know, the natural wood grain. So that's an interesting difference. In regards to the actual piece shapes, I think from what I can see is that the old style it's definitely a different sort of piece cut, whereas the newer style is a little bit sort of more angular, whereas the old style is very much sort of rounded and a little bit more random shaped. So yeah, again, I'll pop up close up so you can see that. And in regards to the image in the front, so the new one, let's have a look. Don't see a big difference. I mean, obviously this is affected by the fact that, you know, what's on the image, and the old style one doesn't have as many, you know, as much color and variance in the image compared to this one, which is very colorful and there's a lot going on. So there's not a lot to sort of compare it to. It looks like it's pretty much on par from what I can tell. As for the whimsies, well, there's plenty of whimsies in this one. And of course, as you would expect, they're all, I'll just put some on my hand here, they're all plane shaped from what I can see. Again, I'll pop a picture up so you can see that a little bit better. But yeah, they're all like various different types of planes. I do like wooden puzzles that have whimsies that are specifically in theme with the image. Like, I don't want to be doing, I don't know, a beach image and see, I don't know, pictures of woodland creatures. I mean, whimsies of woodland creatures. It's too random. So that's what I like about Wentworth, is they have things that actually fit the theme. So in regards to how many whimsies there are in ratio to the actual piece numbers, I don't know yet. Maybe I'll count and I'll let you know. But yeah, so far it looks pretty good. And I will just now dive into the actual the history. Well, the background of this image of this older one, because that turned out to be rather interesting. And then I'll show you my build and come back and let you know what I thought of the experience of doing this old style one. So like I said, this image did not really appeal to me all that much. So I had the first thing I did is that I looked up what BOAC stood for, and apparently it's British Overseas Airways Corporation, and that eventually merged. There was two companies that merged, and that one and another one, and what eventually became British Airways that we know today. So that was that mystery over. Now, the Comet is the plane there, and it seems that that was the first jet airliner. So it's not totally random. There's a reason why it's particularly this one. The prototype first flew in 1949, so just post World War II. And then the first commercial jet was released in 1954. So obviously there was, a lot of years of, getting it up to speed to use commercially. It carried 36 passengers, so it wasn't a very big jet. Its cruising speed was 720 kilometers per hour over a distance of 4 kilometers. And it, 4,000 kilometers. So 4 kilometers is a bit of a short ride. No, it's 4,000 kilometers. Okay, and then it was retired in the late 1960s. So it had a pretty good run. Now, as for the artwork, it's done by a man called Malcolm Root, and yeah, he's credited on here. And I think it's titled Comet Over the Pyramids, which is pretty obvious. And he was known particularly for his transport art, whether that was by road, sea, or air. And I'll put a link in the description notes to the artist's website. You can see his other artwork. I did try to find a year for this on his website, but I couldn't see one, unfortunately. But it looks like he's been active as an artist since the 80s. So who knows? This could have been new at the time that Wentworth came into production in the early 90s. So who knows? Okay, so then my other question to myself was, why the Egyptian background? Like, what's that got to do with the comet? And I did discover that the comet did fly over Egypt and made a stop in Cairo as part of a demonstration flight to Sydney here in Australia back in December 1955. So I wonder if that is why it's been depicted this way. That's just my guess. Again, there was no information about it that I could find. So if you want more information about this particular flight, I'll put the link in the notes so you can read about it, and also a link in regards to more information about the comet in general. So I would suspect that whoever owned this particular puzzle was probably an aviation fan, particularly aviation history. There's information about it on the RAF Museum website, which I just mentioned that I would include a link to. So yeah, I did a little bit of a dive into what I thought was quite a random image, but it turns out it was the first commercial jet airliner that was in operation. So yeah, and there was probably a reason why, there's the pyramids in the background. So yeah, so I will put these together and I will come back and report on my experiences in doing this new one. So I'll catch you soon. So I got started, but I thought I'd pause to mention a few things. As you can see there, I have separated the pyramid-y sandy bits, the blue sky bits, sort of in between the sand and the blue sky sort of bits. Got started on the plane there, got a little bit of the shadow of the pyramid down there. There's the whimsies over here. When I normally do wooden jigsaw puzzles, I like to do the whimsies last, but this puzzle is proving to be rather difficult. So I think I'm going to do the whimsies as I go, because when you do them last, it always makes it a little bit harder. There is a bit of a curiosity here. I said I don't like random stuff in wooden puzzles, and this looks like an umbrella, a top, doesn't it? I don't know what else it could be. All this stuff, it could be like, I don't know, bits of propeller maybe? That looks like the center of a propeller, the side view maybe. But what is this? It looks like a llama to me, not a donkey, maybe a llama. Now, I know Wentworth have like this sort of, they have the tree, which is, you know, a logo of theirs, and I can understand that being included. That's not quite random, that's branding. But alpaca, llama, did they used to have that as their logo before the tree? I don't know, because they're South American animals. They're definitely not like Egyptian. Another thing that I noticed is that I got it wrong. These pieces aren't wood grain. No, the back of these pieces are like this sort of kind of dull, kind of dark grey, and it's similar to the current one, only just a bit darker back there. But yeah, not what I was thinking. This is actually the image there, so oops, sorry. Another thing I noticed is that yes, there is the artist, and there's the year 1997, so now we know when this piece of artwork was created, so that's nice. I think this is going to be quite hard, so I'll continue on and I'll see how I go. I am much more careful when it comes to doing wooden puzzles, because I just, you know, when you put them together and they don't quite fit right, then you've got to be careful pulling them apart that you don't like damage anything. So I'm not putting pieces together unless I'm absolutely sure, or I'm sure I can pull them apart. So anyway, I'll continue on. Okay, there it is, complete. But I just wanted to show you something. It had a lot of pieces that were just pushed up against each other and didn't fully interlock, and it made it so hard while I was puzzling. Everything kept moving around quite a bit. I did work out, I think I know what this whimsy here is. There's three, and if you put them together, that to me looks like an upside down parachute. So that's what I think that is. But there's a few other pieces here that are quite random that I have no idea, like that there and there. I don't know. And of course the alpaca, I'm calling is right there. So there you have it. I finished it. Took me a while. I didn't time myself, but took me a while. Did not enjoy it as much as I thought I would. Again, the pieces were a bit thinner than what we get nowadays from Wentworth. I think it's only like probably 1 millimeter, but still it seems to make a difference. The fact also that it had a lot of pieces that were just pushed together and not quite as interlocking made it really frustrating to do. Overall, it wasn't too bad. the image wasn't the most exciting to do as a jigsaw puzzle. I mean, there's a lot of brown, a lot of blue sky. I started with the jet, and funnily enough, I found myself doing the blue sky next, and then all that sort of browny stuff at the bottom. So yeah, I got it done. Now, I did think a few times while I was doing it that I was perhaps missing a piece here and there, but it's the whole sort of wonky sort of piece cut that throws you off, you know, off the trail in, you know, in regards to knowing what piece might go there. So yeah, overall, I did like exploring Wentworth's past. The fact that this artwork is from 1997 means that, well, this puzzle could be from 1997, or it could be from, you know, 2000, who knows. One thing I forgot to mention is that, yes, the packaging changed, I think, in 2020. So they've had that plum bottom and the grey top sort of packaging for quite some time now. So I'm not too sure when the piece thickness changed, but obviously it had after this one. So yes, that was a nice little experiment. I am curious to know if you've done any Wentworths, you know, older ones, sort of pre 2020, I guess, before they changed the packaging, and what you thought of them, and did they have so many sort of like push up non-interlocking sort of pieces? I know in the modern day sort of the latest Wentworths, they've got a lot of different cuts. Some of them are like more complicated than others, like vine cuts and all these repeating sort of cuts, and they mark them as such, so you know what you're getting into when you buy them. But yeah, I really did not know what to expect from this one. But yeah, it was a good experiment. Would I rush out to find other old Wentworths? No. If I happen to find one in an op shop, which is rare, I might give it a go, depending, I guess, on the image. I think if this was a bit more exciting sort of image for a puzzle, I would have enjoyed it more. No offense to the artist. It's just some artwork doesn't translate that well to actual jigsaw puzzles. But if you like puzzles and you're into aviation history, then this one is right up your alley. If not, well, perhaps give it a miss. Okay, well, that's it for me. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this or any of my other videos, please consider subscribing. It helps my channel to grow. So yeah, I will catch you next time. Bye.